Guys, it's Ed the Paranormal here to talk to you about the first ghost story I'm ever going to put on here, first of many to come. I'm going to talk about the Myers family murder up in northern Ohio in 1938. There was a Mr. and Mrs. Myers who lived in a farmhouse, and they came across a man who was needing employment, needing help, Mr. Roush. Mr. Roush had no money to give to try to get into the home that was on their farmland, so Mr. Roush loaned him a substantial amount of money in 1938. I believe it was over $1,300, so in now times it's probably about like $1 million. So Mr. Roush would try to work off his debt. They would do things around the farm, help around the house, odds and ends stuff. Well, it came to the point where Mr. Roush was no longer paying Mr. Myers, and he still owed a substantial amount. So as time went on, Mr. Myers eventually went to Mr. Roush and asked, like, hey, I need you to pay this debt back for me. Mr. Roush said, okay, meet me at your house the following evening. I'll come and pay the whole debt off. So Mr. Myers was, happy to agree, like, yeah, we can do that, take care of everything. Well, when that night came, Mr. Roush decided to go in the house, shoot Mr. Myers in the head with a .38 caliber revolver. When Mrs. Myers heard the shot, she screamed, and he went and found her and shot her as well with the same revolver. But Mrs. Myers did not die. So he then proceeded to beat her unrecognizably to death. After the murders, the police were investigating everything. They found out that Mr. Roush was too into helping with the investigation, was trying to do this, was trying to do that. So they kind of got suspicious of Mr. Roush. So they took him in, they started questioning him, and immediately he cracked. He admitted to killing the couple and setting the house on fire. He burned the whole house down with them inside of it. So before the trial, Mr. Roush decided he was going to kill himself. He attempted to cut his own throat with a boot knife. He survived, but then after that he decided to change his plea from guilty to not guilty due to insanity. Well, the courts wasn't buying it. They sentenced him to death, and in 1939 they electrocuted him to death. Now, I went to the Myers farm. It's very overgrown. Over the years, nobody has taken care of it or anything. But I know that when we were there was a real creepy, eerie feeling. And they also say you can see shadow people, you can hear screams, kind of hear chattering like somebody talking. In the future, I'm going to go out there and investigate it. But at that point in time, I couldn't get to it because it was so overgrown. So we are going to go out and investigate it to see if we can capture any of that. So, I hope you guys are having a great day.